Welcome, everyone, to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast with Zach King. You can find me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. This is Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. You can follow him across all the social media at Political Bill SC. Out of practice.
Hey.
We didn't do one of these Monday night.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we can open up with that. So I still don't know why our power was out for roughly 2 hours, but when the power did finally come back up,
what are you talking about?
Our power went out.
All right, I'm not good at this. You forgot to show up. That's what happened. I didn't know where this story about power outages came from.
Okay.
Was I supposed to be following along and kind of going along with it? I was here. I showed up, I logged in,
really?
And you had just forgotten.
Did you
Why
really?
can't you be honest? Yeah.
Okay. So no. So anyway, when our power came back up, my modem did
You're
not
staying
come
with
up.
it.
Yeah,
Okay. You're staying with it. Okay.
My-
Yeah. Power was out.
yeah.
Yes. We had a horrible hurricane come through South Carolina last week, knocked your power out.
I'm going to be honest with you. Nothing happened. But my neighbor, so the power was out from my neighborhood all the way to where my son works at the Little Caesars. The Little Caesars was without power. So at 6:45 or so, I had to go pick him up because they were closing.
You know how you can tell he's lying? It's overly detailed. Like when you have to fill in every little corner to establish credence, you're just overcompensating for the lie.
Bill,
you're not good at this.
This is me. So pick him up, bring him home. An hour later, his supervisor calls and says, "Hey, you need to come back up here and do inventory. I don't care if you have to do it by flashlight." So I drive him back up there. The power's back on there, but not back at the house. So I get home from dropping him back off. Power's still out. Getting out of my car, not expecting for anyone to give me a jump scare, but my neighbor Bernard across the street shows up with pictures on his phone of like 8 bucket trucks lining the road outside of our neighborhood. All of our power is underground. Everything for us is underground. So there's actually nothing for it to do from the power station to us because the power station's literally at the top of our neighborhood. We have a direct connection to that power station. In fact, it was probably about 23 years ago. The only time we've ever had an extended power outage, Helene, we were out for about 5 hours. But before that, a squirrel had gotten into the transformer that supplied our neighborhood, and it fried that transformer. And it took them 3 days in August to get a new unit in there to replace it, or the team that has to come in and build to replace it. That was a rough one. But when the power did come back up, my modem didn't work. It would not connect to the internet, even though my neighbors all around me, they worked just fine. And Tuesday morning, finally had service come out. Utilities came and replaced my modem. So
as you may be aware, when Helene hit South Carolina, my town of Greenwood got devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say a good 30% of the trees, and that's not an exaggeration, were knocked over. I mean, it knocked over every above ground power line, and 90% of Greenwood was without power at one point. I mean, it was a complete pitch black. So here where I was, we were out of power for about a day and a half or so, but other areas were out for weeks at a time. But the one thing that I was able to get working just fine was our internet. So no electricity, no refrigeration, nothing. But I had a battery, a little portable charging station that was fully charged. And I was able to power my modem with it. And since we're on fiber, as long as the modem was alive, it was able to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I was able to survive without lights. I was able to survive without food and any other creature comfort. But as long as I had internet and Wi-Fi, I survived it.
See, the details on that are a little too strong. I'm starting not to believe it.
Yeah. I was actually very surprised. Like I did it kind of just not thinking there was a very little chance that it was going to work. But once I powered up that modem, I was getting Wi-Fi on my phone. I was able to charge stuff. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And basically, because it was the lack of information. I wanted to know what was going on at Duke. I wanted to know what was going on with people I know and whether they're injured or okay, or because it was so early. I mean, people's houses were crushed left and right.
No,
internet is probably the most important utility.
And I've got a gas generator. I can't, it's not big enough to hook up to the house to power the house, but I could plug both of the refrigerators into it so we wouldn't have to worry about that. And as long as I can run to the gas station and get gas, we're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so want to start out. Remember your predictions for last week?
Good God. No, I do not.
So mine, I only have one that kind of goes along with what potentially has happened, but I said that to end the prolonged government shutdown, the president would offer a refund of the SNAP benefit program as long as people used his new Trump victory vouchers to buy their groceries with. I think that's the only thing that's actually even remotely valid, is the fact that Donald Trump apparently is now desperately wanting the SNAP benefits to be re-engaged, and is ordering that the Senate Republicans go ahead and destroy the filibuster, pull the nuclear option and get rid of the filibuster.
He knows he's fucked up. I mean, you shared with me that famous post of his this morning, the day after the blue wave election. And what did he write? He made up something about what pollsters said. It was because of the fact that he wasn't on the ballot.
He wasn't on the ballot. That was all he had to say.
No, it was two things. It was he wasn't on the ballot and the shutdown.
Yeah, it was the shutdown.
Which basically he conceded that Republicans got blamed for the shutdown. Right. That's what he said in his post.
Yeah, because it looks bad. I mean, this was his post. Now, so this is I did want to bring this up. You and I have discussed several times about the fact that Donald Trump doesn't write his own posts, but I think that there are posts that he does put up that are his. And this one in particular is, you have to read it in the style of Trump, which is basically screaming into the void. Trump wasn't on the ballot. And
This one's not written by Trump. This is not written by Trump. No. That article I sent you, the guy did an analysis. He did scientific data model, machine learning analysis, and says that only about 10% of his Truth Social posts are him, because they match his speaking style and other things he's done. I mean, they've taken a large language model and completely analyzed it. That one is not, and I would say it's not because it's got proper punctuation. Notice the placement of the comma inside the quote properly.
You're right.
He does not know to do that.
You're right.
He does not. So it's somebody impersonating Trump with the all caps to make it look like it was written by him. But nope, that's not him. Possible. I declare.
It was at about 10 o'clock last night. So Mamdani had been announced as the winner. Both Virginia and New Jersey
was there bad news anywhere in the nation?
Okay. So not nationally, like not like major race news. I can report that here in the Lexington, South Carolina, District 88, we did have a runoff between Brian Duncan and John Lederhosen. I can't think of his name, but Lederhosen is the MAGA. He is the MAGA. He was endorsed by the Freedom Caucus. Like it's trading.
Don't tell me he won.
He did. Yeah, he did. And it's a shame too, because like I did go vote in the Republican primary because I at least recognize the differences between Brian Duncan and John Larkin-Harbin. But he was Brian Duncan was normal. Like he was the Republicans that I grew up with. And now
they put in another RJ May back in that spot.
Except 40 years, 50 years older. Like,
yeah, so it's just a matter of time in terms of what they find in his closet.
Potentially, it's
No, that was just the runoff for the primary, though. So he's not your representative yet, and there is a Democratic candidate.
There is Colonel Chuck Hightower, who is a retired Army colonel, or I think he's Army. I think that's correct, but military. And everything that I've seen him speak and whatnot, I think he's a I think he's a good guy, and I think that if he's elected, which is entirely possible, 2,400 people turned out to vote in the Republican primary, and most of the voting was done early. So I think that come December 23rd for the actual the special election, I think it's entirely possible that we get enough people to run or enough people to show up to vote that we could have a Democratic flip that seat.
When is the special election scheduled for?
December 23rd. So again,
oh geez,
it's good news. We could potentially get enough people out there, and maybe Republicans won't show up.
You're going to get 25 people showing up to vote. I mean, come on.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it's going to be extremely low turnout. I did talk to the people that run the election office in Lexington and asked me if I would potentially be available to clerk one of the polling places. And I said, if I can clerk the one that is literally out my front door, yeah, 100%, I will do it. If you need me, I'll do it. That's not a problem.
So I want to come back to a statement you made. You said you went and voted in that Republican primary because you wanted Brian Duncan. Had you voted in any Republican primary before? Is that something you've done before? Okay, so then you must already be on the Republicans' mailing lists.
Yes. Yeah. In fact,
because I put that down as the one downside is that if you want to go, like all the people that wanted to try to get Nikki Haley in over Donald Trump so they show up to the Republican primary, and I said, you have just doomed yourself for life.
Yeah.
You are now on the Republican mailing list. I don't know about you, but literally I've gotten 6 Pam Evett flyers within a 2-week span because I'm on some damn mailing list somehow from the past.
Yeah.
You can't escape it. You are now, it's like herpes, man. You're on a Republican mailing list now.
No. And I have voted in Republican primaries before, and
you got Republican herpes then. That's it. Dang, there's no cure for that.
No, you're right. But it's just like every other case of herpes. It's this one
comes back. It's a pain in your balls over and over. Yeah, I was
gonna say this one just comes with a more. This one comes with just a hint more racism and misogyny is what's included in the Republican herpes. Real quick,
I think you have a title for the episode now.
Republican herpes includes racism and misogyny. Priest Jacobs, host of the Priest Jacobs podcast, new SoulHAUS Sessions with Priest Jacobs coming up November 19th at the University of South Carolina Koger Center for the Arts. Doors open at 5 p.m. 6 o'clock is the conversation with Delana Dameron. Information can be found in the show notes or following at Priest Jacobs on Instagram. So we didn't have a show Monday. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up was Donald Trump apparently now claims that Seth Meyers of the Late Night with Seth Meyers show is likely illegal because it is so anti-Trump.
Well, didn't it arise because he hosted like a press banquet of some sort?
Years
there was
ago.
Like a ceremony for. Was that years ago or was that just recently? I don't remember.
He made a bunch of jokes at Trump during one of
All right,
those.
so that was
yeah.
I saw the video, but that was years ago then. That wasn't recent. No. I'm just wondering what it was that triggered Trump to say that.
I'm guessing because ABC has already drawn a line in the sand and they said, and basically they are not going to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel, who brings in a ton of money for ABC. As unpopular as Trump thinks that he is, he still gets 2.5, 3 million to 5 million views a night. And then his YouTube is.
Yeah, but then so do you. I mean, it's a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, of course.
Who doesn't get that?
It's weird about the fact that Donald Trump, our president, isn't above not just going along with the humor, not just accepting that there are people out there that don't like him and they're going to make fun of the things he does. I feel like that's just sort of the part of being old and dementiated. Like he just can't, there are things that he can't let go. And this is one of them.
But I think that's also him as a 25-year-old. I don't think that was something he developed in his old age. I think he was that vindictive, holding a grudge forever.
Yeah. Well,
at the youngest age. That's just him.
His parents were always there to protect him when he was, up until the age of 40. Like this was an individual who never had to fight for himself. He never had to do anything that would have earned him any experience in how to deal with critiques or anything like that. And this is the result, is we have a 80-year-old president. I also wanted to talk about, there was a report that came out that more than a third of ICE applicants can't complete a basic athletic test, including 32 sit-ups, 15 push-ups, run a mile and a half in about 14 minutes. Said that these recruits have been described by the White House as athletically allergic.
All right, so let me ask, could you do that right now? Those three things.
The mile and a half in 14 minutes? No. But the 32 sit-ups and 15 push-ups? Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I think I could do all three right now.
Yeah.
As out of shape as I am, I know I can do that. That's not going to be a challenge. I won't feel great afterwards, especially the run, but I could do it.
Yeah. I think so. I worked my way up from about
what's 30. That signing bonus again?
The signing bonus? It's like 60 grand, right? Isn't
right?
50 or 60 grand?
I'm starting to think now, like, what if we had good guys join ICE? What if I got that signing bonus and I'm the one that's like, hey, Bob, maybe you shouldn't be grabbing her by the hair out of the car, and like I'm intervening as an ICE agent. What if we had more good guys in ICE?
My guess is that good guy ICE agents wouldn't be the type of people that would, let's say, kidnap children from an elementary school, or the teachers that are teaching them.
So we're there resisting from inside.
Right. Say that one more time.
Like, we're all masked up, so you can't tell who's who anyway.
Right. Yeah,
so you might as well be in there, and you're blocking another ICE agent from grabbing a kid from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're being the good guy.
Yeah. What if?
And they can't tell who you are.
You were the.
In fact, what you can do is you can impersonate one of the other guys that you don't like and get that guy fired. So you can completely sabotage all of ICE's operations.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. I maybe so. What we're talking about here is potentially getting some insurgents into the ICE program that would potentially unravel the program from the inside.
Yeah.
And receive a $50,000 signing bonus.
It's like, instead of a psyop, it's a fat op. Yeah. We go in there, roll around with them, be all out of shape, but we're all masked up, so they can't tell.
Can I just do it on the weekends? Is that an availability?
Have you ever seen these ICE things happen during the weekday? No, it's all weekend warriors.
I feel like that's potentially true.
I feel like that's
potentially true. Other thing that I wanted to bring up on Monday night was the fact that we now have.
Are we doing Monday show or are we doing Wednesday show here? It sounds like you're living in the past, man.
I know, but I had notes and I wanted to do it.
You wrote to me and said, I had a good show plan. Like you were the most disappointed individual.
I did. And I'm going through this very briefly. This is so all of these individuals who are part of the upper echelon of the Trump administration all now live behind gated walls and military walls. Stephen Miller and his family. Marco Rubio. Is Marco Rubio married? I think he is. Or would his wife have left him when she started calling him little Marco? Pete Hegseth, he now lives behind the walls of a military base. Kristi Noem lives behind the walls of a military base. Tulsi Gabbard is also living behind the walls of a military base now. Why? I don't understand.
Well, actually, you need to start asking the people who aren't behind those walls, why weren't they invited?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like think like, why is RFK Jr. not back there? They're like, no, we're not letting this creep back in here with us. He can stay out there.
That's fair. That's a good question.
Where's Kash Patel? Why is Kash Patel not within those walls? They're like, no, that freaky ass, he ain't coming in here with us.
Could you imagine Larry David's wife from Curb Your Enthusiasm having to live behind, like, on a military base with RFK Jr.? I have to call him Jr. I forget because there's respect for RFK, no respect.
How about that AI video I sent you of JFK sitting down to do an interview, and in walks this little snot-nosed boy coughing, and JFK says, Bobby, get your freaky little kid out of here.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic. I wish I could pull that up. That was fantastic. It was so
my
good.
Favorite. I mean, that was my favorite AI clip I've ever seen. It was the best.
It was so good because, like, you didn't have to know that was RFK Jr. to know that was RFK Jr. Because you're like, he was a fucking little snothead. Like, he was.
If there's one AI video out there that is most likely to have actually happened,
That
was it.
I have to
Hey.
believe that that's real.
So another story, I don't know if you've heard this one about Kash Patel, that earlier this week, maybe late last week, big announcement that they thwarted a huge terrorist plot in Michigan. You read that?
So let's rewind. October 31st. It was just a few days ago. We all woke up to headlines that Kash Patel had made this huge announcement saying that they had thwarted this Islamic terrorist attack in the Michigan area or whatever. And only after 4 days, we still have, this was on Monday. So these were Monday's notes. So after 4 days, multiple young men aging 16 to 20, described as gamers, had all been arrested, put behind bars, no formal charges. To this day, there still are no formal charges. Authorities allege that the plot was inspired by the ISIS extremist group. There are also mentions possible connection to an earlier arrest in May of 2025 of a former Michigan Army National Guardsman, but that has already been debunked. The defense lawyer for at least one of the individuals that is detained, despite disputed that the terrorist attack plot claims, stating just young men on forums that they shouldn't have been on, and suggested that no illegal activity has occurred. And I have not seen an update on that since then, but I think I did see something like a judge said that they don't see the evidence supporting the arrests. And there's
you said
no
it at the beginning. You got teenage gamers.
Yeah.
Right. Shit talking. And then you claim that you've just blown up an organized terrorist plot.
Yeah.
So as soon as Kash Patel announced it, I knew it was bullshit.
It did feel
it's like the more sure he is of himself, the stupider you know the outcome is going to be. Yep. There's a direct equation.
He's, for me, anything I hear about Kash Patel is generally not going to be good for the United States.
To be honest with you, I am surprised that all of our national monuments and other targets aren't on fire right now, because if I was a hostile foreign agent, government spies, terrorist organizations, they would be having free reign throughout this country right now, because we have the dumbest head of the FBI and CIA at the moment. And I cannot imagine they're doing any good right now.
He spent, I think they said the price tag was like $6 million to fly him in a date somewhere for dinner.
Oh yeah.
That was just last week. Like it's
and a senior FBI official with many, many years of service, like one of the good guys left at the FBI, was summarily dismissed because of the leak of that date.
Right.
Now, I don't know how it was connected to him, but apparently there was a leak and he had to take the fall for it. And it's like, man,
I don't know. Like I look back at last night. I was excited to see that the elections in Virginia and New Jersey. I don't know how I feel. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about playing that game of California allowing now that, read the redistricting, because Texas did it and Indiana's going to do it and Missouri's going to do it and all this whatever. I'm uncomfortable with it because I feel like it sets a precedent, but I think you have to fight fire
perfectly
with fire.
Perfectly comfortable, especially the way California went about it. Because
exactly
they took it to the voters, and B, the law that they pass says we will undo all of this if Texas does.
Exactly.
Like this law is in effect for only as long as Texas has done what it's done. And to me, it's like, fine.
That was totally my point, was the fact that the state of California took it to the voters in California to actually make this decision. And, but that's one of the things that California does, is they have referendums. They have these proposition votes that create at least it's the voters making these decisions. It's not the governor calling on a special session of the House and the Senate to make this decision for the voters, like we would likely do here in South Carolina. So,
there's a clip I wish you had. Speaking of last night's elections, did you see Mike Johnson's press conference
this
today?
Morning?
Yes. Like literally there is a clip where he says, "Oh, I don't see this as a referendum on Republican Party at all."
Right.
Like he says that with a straight face, and it's like, there is a guy right there who has no soul. He is an automaton. He is a speak and spell machine. There's a string in his ass that if you pull it, the same phrases are going to come out without any emotion or feeling whatsoever.
Well, and Trump has acknowledged, like, even I don't remember if it was publicly, but I think he at least the leak or some information came out recently, completely blasting.
Oh, there was a closed door luncheon of some sort with
Yeah.
Trump and the leaders, and that's where all the leaks are coming from today.
Trump said, well, this was a couple weeks ago, but Trump called Mike Johnson his puppet. He said he's out there doing what I tell him to do.
No, I'm saying that today there was a meeting that was a post-mortem post-election that a lot of leaks are coming out of now, where Trump was just tearing into everybody for fucking up that election.
Right. Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not like these things don't happen to whatever party is in the White House. If a party is in control, it's happened to the Democrats, it's happened to the Republicans. We run into these off-cycle elections or whatever, and we do the same. We have the same thing over and over. Is if, let's say, Biden was president, when the midterms came up, he lost the House and the Senate.
Well, I do believe in cycles, and if you roll back to Trump's first year, the 2017 election, there was a little mini blue wave that hit before the big blue wave crashed onto his ass in 2018.
Yeah.
But the thing that I see these comparisons, because people are doing the analysis, is there were a lot of Democratic victories at the end of his first year. But this year, it's much wider and far more spread, and the margins are crazier.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting.
One of the results of the election last night is the Republicans in Mississippi now no longer have a supermajority in their House, which
beautiful.
Ultimately it doesn't solve all the problems for Mississippi, because they are still, like, literally
still right Mississippi,
Louisiana. Yeah. Look, the joke always goes, if you live in Georgia, you're thankful for Alabama because you're not touching Mississippi. If you live in Alabama, you're thankful for Mississippi because you're not touching Louisiana. So, but the supermajority was flipped. Georgia had two statewide positions that both went to Democrats. The Republicans both lost both of those in Georgia. They had pretty high turnout for what was considered an off-cycle election. So it's good news if you're in favor of at least showing some guts to not be constantly in favor of everything Trump and his administration are doing. Like, if there is a resistance, and I think that it's building. I will say, before we do our predictions for next week,
I have no predictions in my mind yet, so this is going to be completely on the fly.
Well, okay, so this is before we do the predictions, I'll say, so you're a science guy, I'm a science guy. Voyager 1 spacecraft is projected to reach a distance of 1 light day from Earth this month.
Yeah, I wrote about that a couple months ago. That's just so freaking cool.
Yeah.
But how are you a science guy? Hold on, I kind of take offense to that. I'm a science guy, yes. How are you a science guy? Like you just said, I'm a science guy, you're a science guy.
I believe in it.
Like, I have a master's degree in physics. Okay, I'm a science guy.
I studied applied mathematics. I took AP.
You did. That's right.
I took AP physics and AP physics, trigonometry. I took all the genius classes in school.
I just didn't want you stealing credentials here that were not earned. Stolen valor over there.
Look, do I believe in aliens? Sure. Do I think they've been here? I'm weak on that one.
Did you see JD Vance's comments about aliens today?
I did not. What did JD Vance
He thought
say?
Aliens could actually be spiritual beings. Like he said this on a podcast yesterday, that aliens could be spiritual beings having impact on Earth now.
I'll just say this. For JD Vance, as many personalities as we get to experience of JD Vance through the course of his life, I will say it's not far-fetched for me to believe that he thinks that aliens could be here, or at least could be some godlike creature. And I say that because he went from being a hill country Appalachian Baptist to a Catholic, claiming that his wife shouldn't be Hindi. This is a guy that he's playing to the crowd. So yeah, he went on a podcast. They brought up aliens. I fully believe he could think.
Did you see about his brother-in-law who ran for office in Cincinnati? Did you catch that election result?
Yeah.
His brother-in-law got walloped like 83% to 17%. Like
Yeah.
he couldn't even get pity votes.
It's one of those things where, you have to question at least a little whether I should have done this. Should I have?
The Vance stank was high on that guy. He was not rubbing that off.
Yeah. All right. Predictions for next week. Do you want to go first? All right.
I'll go first. Let me. I got one quick before I forget it. JD Vance will convert to Hinduism.
Oh,
that's my first prediction.
That's your first prediction. All right.
Yes.
Entirely possible. If we have an influx of money from India, it's entirely possible. He plays to the audience. All right, my first one. In what will be deemed an act of absolute heroism by himself, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman will realign himself with the Democrats in the Senate, announcing in a tweet while wearing a gold wig, giant bedazzled sunglasses, and Daisy Duke jean shorts, "Winner's gonna win." Later in the week, he'll be forced to walk back the outfit as ranking senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, will raise an ethics investigation about a blonde wig, bedazzled sunglasses, and Daisy Duke jeans being stolen from his, let's say, his closet.
Wow.
I'm saying Lindsey Graham is in his closet right now. Anyway, yeah, that's my first one.
Oh, that is harsh.
All right. You got a second one?
All right. Yes. Our favorite Congresswoman, Nancy Mace, is going to have a meltdown at an elementary school where she will scream at little children for crossing her path or insulting her honor of some sort, and they will have it on camera, and she will then sue the school for defamation of character. Despite what was caught on camera as she bitch slapped a little girl.
I saw somebody sent me a thing tonight that Nancy Mace is now attacking, and she's been doing it, but she's attacking South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson because apparently he is going after her in this whole Charleston airport whatever nonsense that, to me, I still don't even understand it. She asked for private security to walk through the airport. For what? I know what Nancy Mace looks like, but in a crowded Charleston International Airport, I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a crowd. I could care less. I'm paying attention to my 4-foot bubble around me, trying to avoid coming in contact with someone or their sick kid because it's flu season, and I don't want any of that. So But the whole thing is Nancy Mace said she'd be there at a certain time. She did not show up at a certain time. She didn't show up apparently in the vehicle that she said that she was going to be showing up with. And the airport security was like, she's not here. So what do? They went back about their business, doing their job. And then she gets pissed off because I guess she didn't make her flight on time or whatever. And it's just whole ridiculous thing. And I'm like, what makes Nancy Mace think that she is important enough to require private security? Pay for your own private security. Walk around with a bodyguard. Like, get over yourself. I'll tell you who wouldn't walk around with a bodyguard. This guy. No need.
It's because you live in a 4-foot bubble. I mean, you just declared why you don't need a bodyguard.
I'm constantly swinging my arms. Don't come near me, man. All right, my second one. Donald Trump will continue his social media claims of the 2025 Democratic wins in Virginia and New Jersey were rigged because he will reveal he rigged them. He will announce that he had in order to prevent an interstellar war with an inhabitants of the 3I Atlas spacecraft. He will give no details on this threat of space war, but will later claim that the aliens have nominated him for the Nobel Prize for Star Peace.
Okay, I lost the thread of your prediction early on because it was so convoluted. But
he had to rig the election in order to keep the aliens happy, so they didn't start an interstellar war. And you just repeated it.
I'm still lost. I'm good for like the first half of that epic tale, but then the second half I get lost. But that 3I Atlas, I think I am. You were an early adopter of the conspiracy theories. I think I'm starting to come around because the more scientific weirdness I'm seeing coming out of that freaking thing, the more concerned I'm getting.
So one of the weirdest things I think of that I heard lately was that as as 3i Atlas was coming back around the other side of the sun from us, that there was an announcement by NASA that they were doing a training space Earth protection system in place. And it was a little coincidental that NASA, along with the administration, decided that they were going to do that just as this thing was coming around. They said that somebody said that it did pick up the speed that seemed to give us the idea that maybe the slingshot around the sun, the additional energy pickup or whatever, could lead to potential intelligence.
It's basically doing all the wrong things is how I summarize it at a simple level. Like all the things scientists have expected from these interstellar objects that circle around the sun. It's just like things are pointing the wrong way. Speed is growing the wrong way. Just everything's wrong.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for my third prediction?
I am.
I predict that Dr. Annie Andrews will never come back to Black, White, and Blue in the South podcast. I'm going to go out on a limb here and make that wild prediction, and we'll see if it comes true.
That was the last visit. That was the last visit. All right. My last one is a shorter one. I'll work on getting these shorter. I like to tell stories. My last one, next week, the bruise that has appeared in photos and videos on the president's hand will open its eyes and speak for the first time, revealing to the world that it has been in control this whole time.
You know, eyes popping out of a hand is a Stephen King short story.
Which story is that?
It's from Night Shift, his first short story collection.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's on the cover. You see a lot of that book's covers with a raised bandaged hand with an eye poking out of the middle.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the story itself. I'd have to go look it up because there's 22 different stories in that book. But one of the stories was about astronauts who came back from a mission from Venus, and somehow they picked up some interstellar alien life form that grew eyeballs on their body. But that was just crazy.
But yeah, no, the bruise on Donald Trump's right hand is going
that is the most believable of the three predictions that you've given.
Possible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill, I do hope that you have a good weekend.
Thanks. You know who I'm interviewing this weekend?
No, I
for
don't.
Next week's release. The newly announced gubernatorial candidate for South Carolina, Dr. Jermaine Johnson, makes his first podcast appearance on Black, White, and Blue in the South. We have the leading U.S. Senate candidate, followed by the governor. The road to victory comes through my podcast. It's awesome.
I hope that is correct, and that when they both get elected, that it will remove the stigma that episodes with candidates that come on your show or my show, well, I guess my show, don't ever get elected.
Yeah, same here. And I understand next weekend you'll be doing a play-by-play in an elderly bingo hall, right? You'll be broadcasting live from a senior center. Is that what I hear? No,
I am excited though. Next week's episode is going to be a crossover episode with the ladies from the Our True Crime podcast.
I am looking forward to that. That's going to be cool.
It was really fantastic, and it was. I think one of the coolest things that came out of it was just I recognized from years and years ago just how incredible a person Jennifer Wilson was. All of the things she did and how she lived her life, and all of the research that they did. I mean, spoiler alert, but they confirmed everything. Like they did a deep dive into all of it and found information that I never knew about her and stuff. So it was really, really cool. Jennifer Wilson's In Memoriam page, Facebook page, I'm going to post the episode to them. So they can share that as well, because I think that we did a really fantastic service to Jennifer, and I think that her family and friends will probably enjoy that. So yeah, that'll be really good. You'll get that episode.
Crossovers are great. Often they are greater than the sum of the parts. Like you bring two different groups together and you can create something very magical.
Yeah, that is true. We have some other crossovers coming up soon too. We have we're going to do a crossover with your friend Heather and Tamara from The Awakening. And we're also going to do a crossover with the Travel Podcast, which is out of Rock Hill. I'm sorry, out of Fort Mill, with Juan and his. I think his wife may join us. It may not, but we're going to do that coming up later this month.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, I mean, we've got a crossover coming up with Jimmy Kimmel, but I don't want to step on your dick there. I don't want to rain on your parade.
I just want
let
you
you not have the good vibes.
Do me a favor when you talk to Jimmy. Ask him how they get access to my jokes before I get to tell them.
Okay, I will do. I'll press him. I'll get him to confess and apologize. I can work him. You got it.
Well, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks for everybody watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget you can follow Bill at Political Bill SC and myself at Barrett Gruber. Thanks for liking. I have to learn how to read the new script out.
Thanks for looking.
Hitting the bell. If you can't do that, give us a 5-star review. Leave a comment. Until next time.